Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel, and it is Saturday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which means it must be time for Star Trek talk. And I am joined so far by the one-ton Hammer. Hi, Hammer.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, you?
I'm good, and Irate Prostate said that he should be joining us, so he will. I think he's trying to set up accelerated deconstruction for
Mm.
Tema and Excel, and I think he'll be joining us
I love
as
that
soon
shirt,
as
by
he
the way.
can. Thank you.
It's for those who can't see, it's a blue and silverish, I guess you would say, ACDC shirt
Yep.
with a big circle on the front, and it's
I can always tell it's my ACDC shirt because of the texture of the
oh right,
the
right.
logo. Like the
Uh-huh.
yeah. Yeah, I love this shirt.
I was talking to somebody about you heard that Bruce Springsteen wants to move to Australia
I heard.
if Trump gets reelected. And I put a tweet out and I said, "How does it feel, Australia, to be considered second prize?" I said people aren't going to like that, and he one of my favorite things about Australia, besides the people who live there, I have a big affinity for. Oh, sorry about that. My phone is still on. I have a big affinity for Australia. A lot of people who are in the Minions are in Australia. Even I mean, people like Far and all that kind of stuff, and Pete, but people like Punisher and some of the people who are like ancillary people for the Minions are there. I think I know probably more people in Australia than any other foreign country, including
Interesting.
yours. So, I mean, I know you and Della Hayes and Shady Grin, I think. And I think that's it that I know.
No, Shady's from the States.
Oh, is he the States? So it's just the two
It's
of you, really.
me. Well, you know
Oh, Sora
Sora
Luna, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. How
and
could I forget
Costin.
her, sweetie? Oh, Costin's from. I didn't know he was from
Yeah,
Canada. Well, I won't talk about that
Costin's
again.
about 45 minutes away from me. Functional is
I don't know functional.
45 minutes away from me. There's
So,
Irate.
oh, here he is.
Hello, Irate.
You
What's
made
up?
it
Sorry,
You made it.
man. Yeah,
for
man.
a
Time
while. It was
totally got away from me. It was
two of
weird.
us. We can make it if we try. Glad you're here, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I was talking about Australia, but then just to quickly finish my thought. After posting that about Australia, I added the Australia Tourism Board's promo. I don't know if you saw it. Do you remember the guy Andre 3000?
Yes.
He did a song called "Hey Ya."
Yep.
Hey Ya. Yeah, they
Australia.
changed it. The tourism. It's a tourism. It's an official thing. It's not just some guy who did it on YouTube. That was for a time. Their official thing was that
Yeah.
they took "Hey Ya" and made it "Straya" for Australia. And if you listen to the words, somebody is really good at writing words to a song
Yep.
because those words were like, that's almost better than the original song. It was really good. It fit really, really well. So anyway,
So we're here today to talk about the crew. We're starting with
oh yeah, Star Trek.
the bridge cast. I think is what we decided to talk about.
Yeah, are we doing this chronologically? Is it Enterprise
Yeah,
first?
we started with Enterprise.
Okay.
So we're gonna be talking about Captain Archer today.
You can't see Irate's screen, but right now it has the guy from "All Your Base Are Belong to Us," and it's changed to Trump.
He
All your Trump are belong to us.
That's hilarious.
Sorry,
Yeah,
good.
I saw. I had to grab it. It's pretty
So
funny.
we are basically going to give our opinions about Captain Archer, like the type of captain he is, how he fits into the show, does he fit into the show, and like Scott Bakula's portrayal of him and all that fun stuff. President Jonathan Archer, says Deck Tran. So I when I was first exposed to Enterprise when I was younger, I hated it. And I
Yeah.
hated Archer. And I just hated the whole concept of Enterprise. Um,
My
thankfully,
best friend wouldn't watch it because he didn't like the intro song.
Oh, really?
That was his
Yeah.
complaint.
Well, and
Dude, that turns a lot of people off.
because now we're spoiled by Netflix.
Yeah, I know.
We can just skip the
Fast
intro.
forward. Skip that motherfucker. Whites.
It's not a bad song. It was just inappropriate for
It just
the
doesn't
show.
fit. Yeah,
Doesn't
it
fit.
just on its own, like I said,
not a
described
bad
yesterday. On its own, it's a good song. But
The montage works. It visually works.
Yeah.
You know, it's really nice, but it's just the wrong fucking music.
All of the Star Treks just have symphony music or orchestral. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
orchestral
exactly.
music.
Yeah, orchestral. Right.
And they decided to put in a pop song. It's like, no.
We were trying to sing it like a country song last night.
yes, we were. It was amazing.
It's been a long road.
So, Archer is, but thankfully, because of the Star Trek stream, I've had to rewatch it and rethink my position about Archer. I still don't. He's still not my favorite captain.
Are you talking about Archer or are you talking about the actor?
Archer.
Okay.
I also think that Scott Bakula is probably the only guy who could have pulled off the character of Archer. Like I can't. If somebody was to ask me who I would pick instead of Scott Bakula, I would say I don't know. Like I can't picture anyone other than him as, and I'm not even a big fan of Scott Bakula, but I just can't pick. I can't think of anyone other than him.
A lot of actors for Star Trek weren't that well known when they first came into Star Trek. A lot of people were kind of like medium knowledge known actors.
Right.
And they became big once they got into Star Trek because of the fan base.
Yeah.
But he was already a huge guy from Quantum Leap. So it's hard to separate him from X number of years doing that.
Right.
And his acting technique and personality are very distinct. So when he came into the show, I could never believe him as actually that character. Every time I saw him act, I was like, oh, that's Scott Bakula. You know, it was just him. It was just a person. I could not separate him from what he was doing as an actor. I think they should have brought in somebody a lot less well known.
I think to be fair, go ahead.
Sorry, Irate.
No problem.
Maybe it helped that I didn't see Quantum Leap because I haven't watched Quantum Leap.
Oh, you've never seen the show?
I never watched it either. I just think I wasn't available for it. That's when I was a rock star, I think.
Y'all are youngins, is what it is.
Yeah, I was too busy. No, I was too busy doing everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
watched it. I wasn't
crazy because it was, Enterprise. Anyway, go ahead.
It's just it happened to come on at a convenient time at night. It wasn't like I was like, oh, what's the next episode gonna be? It was nothing like that. But it was always like, oh, these next two shows are coming on after it. I'll sit down and watch this, get some popcorn, get something to drink, prep for the next shows, and watch this in the meantime, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I saw almost all of them, but I wasn't enthralled with any of them because I wasn't. Nice guy, but I just don't think Scott Bakula is that great of an actor.
No, I would agree with you on the caliber of his acting.
Like he doesn't try.
But maybe it is because I haven't watched Quantum Leap that I don't have it's not an ask for me to buy him as Archer because I haven't seen his other character.
Yeah. You put him up against the guy who plays Shran. Was this Coons? What was his name?
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Put him against Shran. Shran as Wayun and Shran as Shran. They're completely different people.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's talented.
I mean, it's just like he'll take a role and make it that role, and it's still him. You can still you still hear his voice and stuff like that. But the way he played Wayun, sniveling, whiny
ass kisser,
yeah, big ass kisser. And then you look at Shran, and Shran's just like, fuck you, know? Pig skin. It's just the characters are so diametric,
Yeah.
But I don't see that with Scott Bakula. Everything he portrays is Scott Bakula doing this, Scott Bakula doing that, Scott Bakula doing that,
right. I totally
really the weakest part of the show is him.
Well, and there's a lot of actors are like that too, though. It's like them just in that situation, right?
Will
Like
Smith is a great
Nicholson.
example of that.
Yeah.
Who?
Yep.
Who?
Will Smith
Will
is Will
Smith.
Smith no matter where he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with Jim Carrey.
Jack Nicholson's
Jim
the same
Carrey.
way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but they're
Look at
really
Kate
good.
Mulgrew.
You know,
Look at Kate Mulgrew. Did you know anything about her before Voyager?
Nope.
But once you found out about her at Voyager, then look, she's got a huge career.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, that's the person you want. The person who's a great actor who's not in the public face all the time.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person you want in that role. That's not him.
With a perfect place to get that stuff.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, starting with the captain, I gotta say it's probably the weakest part of the show.
I don't know if Brunt was played by Jeffrey Combs Costin.
Who's Brunt?
The Ferengi that Quark and
Yeah,
Nog
he plays a
hate.
Ferengi, too. Yeah, Combs. Yeah, he sure did.
That's
so good that I
really
didn't know.
that's Brunt. That is.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh shit.
I'll
call,
verify.
Costin.
Proves my point. Thank you, Dak.
Exactly.
Who is so but Archer, like, as the character, I think he's a good like, he's not a stellar captain. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are some of the other captains.
You know who should have been the captain? The captain of this ship that's the duplicate of the Enterprise. That woman. His date in the mountains.
Yes.
She would have been a great captain. I would have loved to have her as a captain. A
Yeah,
good
she would have
actress
been-
who we've never seen before.
Yeah, she would have been good.
Perfect.
She would have been good.
She was good in that episode, and she only had 2 episodes.
Do we think that maybe it's a sign of the desperation that they were feeling when they got to writing Enterprise, that they cast Scott Bakula? That they were trying too hard?
Oh, that's a good question. What do you think, Ari?
I think they were all right. So they were thinking, so they figured they would go with somebody with a sci-fi-ish kind of background.
Yeah.
And to draw like a little bit of a base with them, to kind of give it, kind of astroturf it.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying, fan-wise.
Bringing his Quantum Leap people?
Some of them, yeah. I mean, because it's sci-fi when you get down to time travel and switching bodies with people. I kind of I have seen a couple episodes, but
Hey, Scribbles.
hey, Scribbles.
Scribbles is in chat. Say hello, Scribbles.
And then Dectran says Jonathan Archer had a lot of daddy issues. Yeah, well, not as many as Tom Paris, but okay.
Yeah.
Tom Paris takes the prize on daddy issues.
Okay, this is everybody that he's played. Oh Lord, in the Trek universe.
Everybody's played. Oh Lord.
Check this out. Well, all right. So they're counting the Wayuns, okay, but we'll not do that. All right. There's one Deep Space Nine episode called Meridian. He plays a character named Taran.
Okay.
And just this weird kind of looks like a ginger with a big kind of, well, anyway, Brunt from Deep Space Nine, and then Deep Space Nine again. It's like he's all over that. It's different people, right? The Wayun, all the different Wayuns. Kevin Mulliquet from Far Beyond the Stars. Let's see. More Wayuns. Why do they keep doing that? And Brunt. And but some of the Wayuns did have different personalities, didn't they?
A little bit.
And this character named Pink Pink from the Voyager episode Sunkatsi. I guess that's the name.
He was in Sunkatsi?
Wow.
Yeah.
Who did he play? What Pink? Was he a main?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking at the page, and of course you got Shran.
Yeah.
And then there's another Ferengi named Krim.
Holy cow.
God damn.
That just proves my point. The guy can play anything, and to the point where you can't even tell it's him.
Yeah, exactly. He's very talented, man. bit his head off like a gingerbread man. I didn't do it with the Jeffrey Combs. He's got that. There's a little bit of a ham in him,
Oh yeah.
which is exactly what you need for really memorable parts like Shran. He really accented Shran's paranoia and and his temper. I love that character. I like that character a lot. I like the Endorians.
Honestly, I liked Shran because he made me like Archer a little bit more.
Exactly.
Because the thing about the thing that I found interesting about the writing of this show is that the other characters around Archer tend to bring out qualities in him that enhance his character that you wouldn't necessarily have, like if they were just straight writing a thing that had Archer in it, him by himself, say doing a monologue, right? You wouldn't get those same character qualities and character flaws that you might see that you do see when Shran is kicking his ass all over the temple. And he's letting Shran kick his ass all over the temple in order to save all of the Vulcans.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, right, the way that they chose to enhance Archer's character by using other characters was a very interesting way of writing.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't strong enough on his own, so he had to depend on the other people.
Yeah,
and I think if some of the hardcore fans were like, he has to earn our respect, like kind of like Shran, right? We're kind of put in that position because at that point in time, you were in the third, spinoff series from Next Generation, not spinoff, but the third iteration.
Yeah,
and so there's expectations. There's other sci-fi that was out there back then. Was Battlestar? Did that come out around the same?
Stargate.
Yeah, Stargate. So all that stuff was going on. So I think there was a competitive thing, to create the series, and so I think a lot of the characters are like, more like almost finished sketches, right? And it was left to the actors to kind of flesh it out. Phlox did the best, obviously. But I think that you can really tell, and I don't know, Trip and the Brit guy are I would say the second two best actors on that crew.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of the crew on Enterprise are so one-dimensional, we might have to group them together into one stream. Like
Maybe.
Hoshi, we are not doing a stream just on Hoshi. I'm sorry.
I thought we were doing the entire crew on each. I thought we were doing.
That would make more sense. If I
thought that's what we're doing. I thut we were doing the entire crew for this ship and then the next ship.
That would make more sense, actually.
Because I'm done with him already.
I know. We're doing Roger.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'll edit the stream title, and I'll make it. It's all about the crew, and then just Enterprise Bridge Crew.
When we get ready to broadcast, I open up the StreamYards obviously to connect to you guys, and then I open just the chat on my other monitor, and I minimize the rest of the stream because I want the chat here. I don't need to see the rest of the stream, so I don't even know what the title was.
I think that my one last comment on Archer is that he's not a strong commander. I don't think. I find that out of the 5 captains, he's the weakest commanding officer.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you there.
I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead.
I'm not sure if it's intentional. But I think that part of it is, he is unsure of himself. And I don't know if that's the actor being unsure of himself in the part or if it's just the character's unsure of himself.
I think it's the actor, because there was an episode of TOS early on where Kirk doubts himself. I believe Bones puts his hand on Kirk's shoulders and says, there's only one Kirk. Don't destroy yourself over this, or something along that lines. So at that point, he did too. But you never think of Kirk that way ever again, and they never portray him that way in the show ever again. I think it really is the actor himself, as opposed to the part. Although the part's not written very well at all anyway. But he doesn't have the fortitude. He doesn't have the fortitude of Janeway. He doesn't have. And kind of the craziness. He doesn't have the thinking prowess that you see in Picard. You don't see quite the devil may dare in Kirk. There's nothing that distinguishes him as a character amongst the rest of the captains. He's just
Like he would never have made a deal with somebody like the Borg. He would never have thought of that. Right? No. He never would have thought about something like the Picard maneuver. That never would have occurred to him.
Yeah. There's nothing distinct about him.
Right.
He would not have said, "Listen, you two racist assholes, if you don't stop fighting, I'm blowing up the ship."
Yeah.
He would not have thought to do that. That's
turn around and take the ship home if you keep acting up.
Archer's just not a good commander.
Yeah. There's nothing distinct about him. He's just milquetoast. He's plain vanilla. He's meh.
Yeah.
Salt free.
So he's in bed. Who's next up? Who are we going to complain about?
Shall we move on to? Well, I'm having trouble deciding. Should we go to Paul first or Trip first?
Ooh,
who's second in command?
Because Trip was the first officer and engineer, wasn't he? But
he was
Paul was
the
science officer.
But she was a science officer. Who's the? Well, ask Irate, because he's much better at Googling this stuff than we are.
You want me to Google it?
I would like to think. I think that Trip was the first. I think he was the only engineer that was also a first officer.
Okay. Well, I'll take the opposite view just to take the opposite view. Then I'm going to say to Paul. So we're going to let Irate split the difference here. You have to come up with the deciding factor.
Dectran says Archer was the first captain. Yeah, but you still have to be a good captain.
That's not what she meant by it's first officer, not first captain.
All right, hold on a second. We're on. We're gonna go.
Oh man, don't let me down.
All right, so to Paul, all right, and Trip. All right.
Who would you like to talk about first?
Nah, who's the first officer?
Oh, who is the first officer?
I'm trying to figure it out here.
Whenever I remember that almost every time he leaves the bridge, every time Archer leaves the bridge, he puts T'Pol in charge.
But is that because she's the first officer, or is that
what
because
she's the commander? All right, they're both commander rank.
Yes, they are.
So it's a tie.
Right.
Well,
but I would say because of the relationship with the Vulcans, is that they would want her to have, a higher.
Is that the Spock factor you're talking about?
Yeah. Is it
Remember
because
political,
I was gonna say, is it because she's the first officer that she's left in command, or is it because that whole Vulcan, we need to see what you're doing,
funny smelling human
crap? Yeah.
I've never heard a Vulcan say humans stank until that series.
Me neither.
I do resent that.
I resent that.
I got grievances. That's right, man. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure that he says, "This is my first officer and engineer, Trip Tucker." But I could be wrong.
I don't remember that, but I'm gonna bow to your knowledge.
He's right.
You're saying I'm right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want Mama to hit me.
If I'm wrong, I don't want to be wrong.
I went out to Memory Alpha.
Okay.
And got a listing of first officers. And it's funny that it is in this order, but the very first officer is T'Pol.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I was wrong.
And then it's George Kirk, Lieutenant Commander Una, which I guess is Discovery.
Yeah.
Michael Burnham, Commander Suru, Spock, Riker, Kira, Worf, Chakotay. Yeah, those are listed as the first officers. It doesn't say Trip here at all.
Well, then I stand corrected.
Let me go ahead and post that in chat so everyone else can take a quick look at it.
Costin says, I liked looking at T'Pol. A lot of people did.
Just keep in mind that that's not all natural.
Yeah.
She was in an interview and she says, "Oh, by the way, these are not. I wasn't born with these. These are. I purchased these."
Who are you talking about, Duvall?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's quite obvious.
T'Pol was the character that it took me the longest to like. And I just put up with T'Pol, honestly. I don't like T'Pol.
So character or actress?
Character.
Character. Okay.
I think the actress does a great job.
I saw her in an episode of House MD,
Mm-hmm.
and she did a really good job in that episode. First of all, I didn't even recognize her without all the makeup.
Yeah.
Because she didn't look like T'Pol at all. She looked like just a regular person. Long brown hair on her shoulders, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, she played the part in House. You couldn't have played it better. She did a really good job. I have to go with writing on this. If there was going to be a complaint for me, her character arc was terrible, and the fact they made her a drug addict. Oh my God, what were they thinking?
Yeah, and a Vulcan would never be even a Vulcan before the Kolinar. That's too much of an ask for me.
Yeah.
It's not even before they fully went through the Kolinar and, stopped all the emotional stuff. They were still putting a high premium on logic. An addiction is not logical.
No. What do you think, Irate? Do you like her? Is there a fault in her? Is it writing, character?
She's just kind of, it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's when you think about it, chemistry wise, she wasn't bad, man. The chemistry with her and Trip got kind of interesting, towards the end of the series.
When better writers showed up.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little less forced feeling, right? When you could tell when the new guys popped in, the writing, the way there was some nuance to some of the shit that we're doing. But I don't think she's a horrible. I always saw her as the political person on the bridge.
Yeah.
The tattletale to the Vulcans.
Russia used to have a political officer on their submarine.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That idea.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have somebody reporting directly to the Vulcans, and of course, at this point, we know that the Vulcans are very suspicious of the Andorians. I'm sure they were just as suspicious of us because we're fucking violent to the core, right?
Yeah.
So that all kind of makes sense to me, because they had made us put training wheels on the Enterprise, and you can only go so fast.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to let you out of the gate too fast. Some bullshit. Football coaching.
No, T'Pol was never written as part human. She was.
I didn't think so.
A Vulcan.
That was pure Vulcan.
The only half Vulcan that served, the only famous half Vulcan that we know of that served was Spock.
Spock.
Yeah, the reason that she became emotional later on is because the drug that she took ruined her ability to control her emotions. Vulcans have emotions.
Yeah,
they're worse than ours. It's just they learn to control them and suppress them. Well, my deal with T'Pol, first of all, yes, absolutely smoking hot body. Fairly pretty face.
Nice voice.
Nice voice. I like that she has a bit of a roll to her voice. So there's a little bit of this in her voice.
Yeah.
That you don't really see that much in any of this the Star Trek series. But I think because she was a Vulcan, I think the actress played the Vulcan as a person who's not a Star Trek fan would play a Vulcan.
Yeah.
it wasn't inherent to her.
You can tell, yes.
Yeah, it was
Right.
she was like, okay, now I have to go to work and act like a Vulcan would act instead of just acting like herself, but with a Vulcan twist, so that
Yeah.
people believe that she's a Vulcan. So it was a little bit plastic in her delivery sometimes.
Yes.
But all in all,
Contrasted with Tuvok, right? All right, because they're both
right,
both
right. That's a good comparison. That's
right,
excellent.
that are not, and you can tell that Tim Russ, it was much more stoic.
And you could tell he knew what he was
Yeah.
doing.
Well, he is much more integrated into Star Trek than
Yeah.
she was. He played several different parts in the show before, so he had an
Yeah.
idea of what Trek was about.
I think he was
Yeah.
a fan too.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
He's been wanting to play other stuff even afterwards. The whole thing with what was that movie that they tried to make that got canceled by CBS? Axonar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be in that. Actually, he had done screen test for it and all that kind of stuff.
There's there's the pilot for that. There's like a 25 or 40 little thing that shows the destruction.
Intro to what the movie's going to be about. Yeah,
it was cool.
it was. There was not to get too far off the subject here, but there's a shot in that stuck with me because it was such an amazing shot. A lot of cool shots in shows, beauty shots and stuff like that for the Enterprise going by and going to warp, all those great shots. But there's a shot where this guy is standing on the planet and he's looking up in the sky, and in the sky above the planet is a Klingon battle cruiser.
Oh,
and it's only like
finessed as fuck too.
It's like a half a mile up, so it's like almost like you can jump out and grab it. It's so close to the planet's surface, and it's just hanging there. And around it is this red mist that goes from the planet all the way up past the ship. It's kind of like hovering in this huge mist of red. And the shot was just so visually stunning. I was like, "Oh my god, that's beautiful!" Yeah. I've never seen anything like that in Trek. Sometimes you look at what they did with Axon. I think to myself, "These guys should be doing this. They should be making Trek movies."
That's what they were.
Industrial Light and Magic.
It was the whole idea. That was proof of concept, right?
Oh, man, it was fantastic. That shot was just. I'm not explaining it. I'm sorry.
No,
Brian, I can't explain it the way it looked, but it was just like, oh.
Well, I think you did a great job explaining
yeah, you did.
The Klingon, battle cruiser, floating in the atmosphere.
Yeah, it wasn't a bird of prey. It was the battle cruiser.
It was well, now.
Yeah,
because
the old battle cruiser.
Yeah, because some of the big bird of prey and the smaller ones, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's the one with the big long pylons across the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's the D7.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just an amazing shot. I'm sorry, we got off on that. Let's get back onto Paul.
I just didn't like T'Pol, and maybe it's because of the Star Trek, like the how used I am to just the camaraderie of the crew from the other series.
Yeah, there wasn't that much.
Well, there was kind of that between most
Hoshi
of the
and the
other
Doctor.
crew, like Hoshi and the Doctor,
right.
Trip and Travis.
Trip and Travis, really?
Trip and Reed sometimes.
Those always seem kind of strange to me.
But this idea of like she really felt like she didn't belong there. Even after she, like the decision that when she made the decision to stay with the crew.
Nobody really cared.
It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no one really cared either.
Yeah.
Oh, she's here? Okay. That's how emotionally invested they were in her presence. Oh, she's still here? Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. There was no hand wringing. Is she gonna leave? She can't leave. We love her. She has to be with us. No, there's none of that.
Yeah, it was like I thought you were leaving.
I'm gonna leave. All right.
I'm gonna stay. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
It just didn't work for me. Like I just I didn't buy it.
Even her romance with Trip seemed forced. It just never.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that was more writing than anything. But
I agree.
Because yeah, you could tell they got better.
yeah,
She was
Yeah,
only
when
there for the
Kato
curves,
started.
says Lord Famine.
it's amazing curves. Got to admit.
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered about that. For guys, it's kind of a different thing because guys are guys, but women, you can usually tell from the outside how built women are.
Yeah.
Again, I always kind of wondered, here you are, you're Hoshi, and there's this girl next to you that's like a total bombshell. Does that have any impact on your psyche at all? Are you, glancing down at your own chest thinking, maybe I should get boobs?
Especially when you're falling out of an air hatch going, someone get me a shirt?
I love that.
Hoshi built like a guy. I mean, I just,
Mm,
I never, for guys, we're generally wearing loose pants, and
she's
all I
my
can really
type.
see is people's chest. And even a fairly weak guy can dress so that he looks like, a little bit more barrel chested and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But a woman, if she's got boobs and the other one doesn't, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. It's obvious. So I always wondered I don't have any perspective on this. I never even asked even a girlfriend their opinion on
All right,
this.
so contrast her with the Asian chick that was on Battlestar.
Yeah, I don't really remember Battlestar though. What was her
Oh
name?
my
Grace Park.
God.
Grace
Yeah.
Park, right?
Oh yeah.
But there was two women. There was the blonde who was with the doctor, and then there
Well,
was the other chick that was a starfighter that played the male version of the original Apollo. So there was three girls.
yeah.
There was the blonde Apollo clone that
You're talking about
got
Starbucks.
race that got switched, sex switched. Used to be Apollo used to be a man, but in Battlestar Galactica, Apollo was a girl.
Not
The
Apollo.
blonde- was it a-
You got Apollo mixed up with Starbuck.
Oh, Starbuck, right.
Yes,
Wrong
cigar
name,
smoking,
right
right.
concept, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a female version of Starbuck,
Yeah.
blonde hair, short, kind of curvy. Then you have Grace Park, who's real thin, but then you had um, the guy who actually allows the Cylons access to their information grid that calls down the apocalypse. His
Yeah.
girlfriend, the
Yeah.
real built,
Six.
gorgeous blonde chick.
Yeah, dude.
So you had three girls in that.
Trisha Helfer. Yeah.
Yeah, Trisha Helfer. Jesus, Lord help me.
Trisha Helfer and
I don't
Katie
like
Sackhoff.
blonde. I much prefer brunettes, but man, she was a knockout.
Dude, I'm telling
Sorry,
you.
I'm getting off the subject here again.
Oh, it was
That's
a
okay.
Talking about women,
That was,
Geez.
a sticky,
It
sexy
allowed me to
show.
answer a DM from Becca, so it's fine.
It was good.
um,
I thought it was a great series. Did you ever watch that BP?
no,
The Battlestar, the
no, I
reboot?
didn't.
I haven't. If you like it.
I never
really
got into Battlestar.
It's actually a pretty good show. It really is a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was
Being
really
a,
weird.
being a huge Star Trek fan, I guess that's kind of verboten, but no, I have Battlestar Galactica, and I've watched it. The format from a production standpoint is a little difficult to deal with, and I'm editing episodes to try to fix all that crap. But the actual show itself, the characters are intriguing. The whole process of the entire show is really, really good. The acting is good. The writing is good. It's just a really great show.
Hey, Pat's in chat. Hello, chat. Hello,
Hey,
Pat.
your boy Pat. How you doing, buddy?
Pat. How you doing, man?
So yeah, if you do get a chance to watch it, it's granted it's fairly visual, but they don't hide anything, so you'll be able to follow it pretty well.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend it.
Indeed, me too.
So now we're gonna move on to my favorite character, which is Trip, because I like Trip.
Good old homeboy, Catfish.
I like Trip a lot.
I do too.
I think the actor did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was one of the characters that got a better character sheet. You know how when writers are writing up the characters, he seems a bit more fleshed out. And I think also the actor seems to be a better character actor.
Comfortable in the role, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You believed that was Trip.
Yes. You believed that he was
Good
some
old homeboy, right?
down home Texas
Yeah.
boy who missed his sister and his family, but still loves being a spacefaring engineer and is ready to face what has to be faced. And is a reliable person and is loyal, and like
Yeah.
there's just
That's where it
there's
all
a
started. His loyalty to Archer
yeah,
was where everything started.
yeah. And you believe it.
Yeah.
Like with T'Pol and Archer,
Mhm.
you don't believe it. Like and unless you like especially unless Bakula is like chewing the scenery to death in a scene.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. That's exactly spot on. What do you think? All right.
I think that probably Tripp and Reed are probably the two best actors on
Yes.
and Phlox maybe
Yeah.
from just a chops and talent standpoint. Because he really, I think Tripp did a great job. Because it's like, I'm from the South, so I really, when it comes to Southern accents and stuff, I'm a real snob.
Yeah.
Because I know it's fake as fuck, and I know what good acting sounds like. He had that's actually a Florida Panhandle accent going towards Georgia.
Mm.
So I know exactly where he's from in Florida. If he don't, um, uh, but and then Reed was I was really he fleshed his character out, had a background. You could tell that he had really done a lot of thought about the character himself, because when he talked about his life and the things that he loved and stuff, it was like he was actually recalling, right? I believe,
Especially in Shuttle Pod 1. In that
yeah,
episode
it's a great.
Shuttle Pod 1. That
Mhm.
was an awesome episode. And it really, especially for a season 1 episode, but that episode was great character arcing for both of them.
Agreed.
Just
I like how it referred to Archer. I always call him Captain.
Captain. Yeah.
CAP''M.
Yeah, Captain.
Yeah, Captain.
Very southern. Yeah.
Yep.
Cap Marcher.
It's tough to actually talk about him because you don't have any complaints about him. There's nothing
Yeah.
to pick apart.
There's nothing to pick.
Yeah,
Good.
he's just a good actor, written well, good part. I mean,
Yeah. JP is right. He says it's bullshit the way they killed him in the end.
Yes, it was.
I agree.
I agree too.
Those are the two mortal sins of the show. Like actually, I guess three. One was killing off Trip. One was ending it after 4 seasons, and how they ended it by making it a Star Trek Next Generation episode.
Yeah.
That was
3 bad mistakes all in a row.
lazy as fuck. Bad choices.
It was nice to see. It was nice to see Riker and Troy again, but not that way.
Yeah.
And the people who were in the show, like Bakula and stuff like that, were really pissed about it.
I bet.
They did it was the DVD of the show of Enterprise. It was in the DVD where they did an interview with Blaylock.
Yeah.
And she was pretty clear about the fact that she hated that shit. So,
well,
yeah.
I would, it would be kind of a slap in the face. Like,
It was.
hey, you guys have
Not
been here for
capable of-
4 seasons, but you're not worth ending the show with.
You're not capable of ending your own show. Jeez, what a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, he was
Let's-
a great actor. Great.
I agree. Like, good actor, good
great written.
character.
Yeah,
Well
yeah.
written.
Do you want to move
and-
on to Reed?
Yeah, Reed I had a bit of an issue with because I found, like, with the actor, I found he was a bit stiff.
I
But
think
then
that he was supposed to be.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
But then as I watched more of the series, I realized that stiffness is more of like a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
It's more of a way of getting himself through what's going on.
He was traumatized by what happened with his, what was his uncle or his
Yeah,
father
his
or something,
uncle.
somebody
Yeah.
like that. The guy who was definitely afraid of drowning and ended up drowning. And I guess maybe he felt that he was going to be traumatized himself in some way like that too.
Yep.
They missed a
And
big deal with him though, because that's all they did with him.
yeah, they could have
They
they
couldn't
could
find a
have
girlfriend for him or somebody that was some kind of love interest or something
Well, I
to
always thought
humanize him a little bit,
he might have been gay, right? Um,
Okay, boyfriend then.
right,
Well, and
exactly.
Star Trek could
Something.
have done that
Like,
without being ham-handed because they
Yes, they
have
could have.
yeah,
done that.
exactly. They've always like broken those kind of barriers in that Roddenberry way, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they can't do now, right?
No.
Because they've totally just shit
If
on the
they
Roddenberry white man. I'm sorry, we can't have his.
if they had Geordi now,
Dude.
they would have, you know what they would have done the very first scene? It would have been, "Welcome, Mr. LaForge. It's good to have you here, you blind black man."
Well, they were even somewhat progressive when it came to Jordy because he had a thing for Tasha. Oh, interracial. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think they dropped the ball with Reed because they established the fact that he was traumatized and that he was stiff and that he was very militaristic and all that kind of stuff. And then they never did anything with him the rest of the
They
3 years.
never gave him a release for that tension,
No,
No.
no.
So he just died, with his dick in his hand.
Like they even gave they gave Worf even.
He
Like
gave him
cuz
multiple girlfriends.
Worf was a stiff guy, right?
Yeah.
But he had love
Kalar?
interests. He had the holodeck program. He taught frickin' Klingon yoga to the ship's women. He frickin'
He had 3 relationships.
yep,
Yeah.
He had Kalar, he had Troy, and he had Jadzia Dax.
Dax,
3
yeah.
girlfriends.
Well, and the other one too for a little while.
What? And
Oh,
keep in
him
mind that
and
the girl who played Kalar is a white girl.
Jadzia,
Ezri.
Terry
and
Funk.
Ezri. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he never had a relationship with her. They were just friends, right?
Well, they had a thing while they were in prison.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then they decided that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
DS9 is not my forte.
It's like, we're not just a good one, not a good fit.
But really, yeah. So, I mean, they could have done
Reed?
something with Reed.
Yeah, they missed a big opportunity with Reed. You know what they could have done? They could have done something with his character during the Zindi fucking timeline.
Mhm.
Because they need, that would have been a great time for him to shine because they needed militaristic help to keep themselves going, right?
Could you imagine? Can you imagine that giving Reed a girlfriend and have him going from uptight and tense and militaristic to somebody who's actually, in love and calm, and how that whole thing with him could have changed, made him a better officer and all that kind of stuff. They missed all of that.
Oh yeah.
How could you miss that? I guess if you're too close to the show, you don't see that from a distance.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Great actor though.
Agreed.
I like the Reed alert, best thing in the world. Funny how the Reed alert became the red alert.
Yeah.
1 letter difference. REID, RED. Yeah. Ding ding bang. Ding ding bang bang. Oh Jesus, turn that off.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was terrible.
Oh Lord.
Shall we talk about the Hoshi for 10 seconds?
Hoshi.
She puts the hoe in Hoshi, huh?
Yeah, oh my god. Hoshi was terrible. I did not like
Really?
Hoshi. I did not like Hoshi at all.
Uh-oh. There's going to be controversy here. I liked Hoshi.
I thought her I thought if
Huh?
they had taken a chance and written her better, she might have been a good character, but
The thing I liked about her is that she definitely was not Starfleet. She was definitely the fish out of water.
yeah.
And she played that part really well. The whole
I'll give you
thing in the
that.
beginning where she was terrified of everything.
Space
And then
sick and
Yeah, and later on she became like the cheerleader for the show. She was like, she talked to people, but I never really see her grab a phaser and start shooting. She never was really a Starfleet officer. She just happened to be a communications specialist on board. You know, they gave her a rank to put her on the
Yeah.
bridge so she could be a communications specialist, but she was never Starfleet.
No.
So another person I think they could have done a lot with when it comes to relationships. She was, fun with the doc, buddy, but she didn't have anybody. She was
No.
alone on that ship.
Do you think they could have put her with Reed?
They could have, yeah. They could have. And I think that would have worked too. There was a flirtation at one point where she was trying to get information from about the fact that he liked pineapple so much. A man after my own heart, I might say.
Yeah.
I think at that point they could have. That would have been a great start. Maybe
for his birthday, right?
Yeah, maybe for 5 or 6 episodes later, they show them in her quarters with a hibachi having dinner, like he mentioned, and she said, "No, I didn't mean I wanted to have sex with you. What I was saying is just, that whole awkward scene." Well, she mentions, "I have a hibachi in my quarters." I think it was a hibachi, some kind of cooking thing, and he said, but I don't want to have sex with you. She's like, "Oh no, wait a minute." But it would have been just fun to see, like, 2 or 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes later, something like that, them sitting in her quarters, eating from the hibachi that they talked about in that episode before. That would have been perfect. I mean, does it really take that much work to build in 30 seconds?
No.
Into the show to add that? People are like, "Hey, remember when they?"
And it would have built on both of their characters too.
Yeah.
It would have allowed their characters to develop.
2 or 3 episodes later, what are you doing for dinner tonight? Just a natural progression. They could have done so much, and it only takes a couple seconds here and there. It's not going to change the whole dynamics of the show just to throw in 10 seconds of them walking down the hallway. I mean, even if that specific shot is Archer and Reed, or Archer and Trip walking through the thing, they pass those two, and you hear him ask her to dinner as they pass. You can still have the shot that you wanted, but you get to add in that little bit that continues the story.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how easy they could have put it in there. God, I should fucking write for this show.
No, the LeVar Burton was in Star Trek Next Generation, not in Enterprise. Why is Uzi asking if you're lost, Irate?
No, she said, "Irate, are you lost?" Yes, they got the shit kicked out of them.
What's AU?
Auburn University.
AU lost. Oh, okay.
Yeah, football. American.
That's your team?
Southern shit is her team. It's the in-state rivalry.
Oh, it's her team.
Right.
Oh, I just looked at who typed that in. It's Uzi. Hello, Uzi.
Hi, Uzi.
Yeah. And so, like in Alabama, you have to declare you're either Auburn or Alabama fans, and no in between, and it is war year long until whoever wins the Iron Bowl.
I've got a friend who follows the Crimson Roll Tide as well. So,
yay!
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Now, I don't know much about college football. I'm definitely a professional football player as my preference. But how do those universities look at the universe? Well, do I say this? How do they look at Penn State? What do they think of Penn State? If you're a college football fan, this should be an easy question for you. I don't know.
So Penn State nowadays, all right. So they've always been a big part of football.
Are they in the same league?
Holy shit! You're right, Pat. You got a shout out from the voice actor who plays Melina.
Oh wow!
God
Melina?
Damn, dude.
Who's Melina?
You mean Melina from Mortal Kombat? Your boy Pat.
Dude,
is that the Melina you're talking about?
Nice.
Pat, I should are we following each other on Twitter? I should hit you up to see if you're available for guests.
I follow Pat. Y'all should be following Pat.
I follow Pat. I've been following Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Mirror Darkly, it says JP. You know what? That was the only time I liked Hoshi, and I still didn't like that she became the Emperor.
No.
I like that story. I thought it was
it's a great story, but I didn't like the fact that she couldn't be the boss man at the end. She doesn't have that temperament, even in the Dark Universe.
I don't know, man.
Damn, Pat, that is so awesome. He's just confirmed it.
There's been 3 Mirror episodes, and all 3, well, not 3, there's been a couple more there's been like 4 or 5 mirror episodes, but in a majority of them, the bad person ends up, or the ends up is an Asian female. I just realized that. Yeah, she, and then the lady from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Discovery.
What the hell is her name?
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about,
right.
but I can't remember her
you
name.
talking about? You talking about Enterprise?
No, Discovery.
Oh, Discovery. I never watched the show. I have no idea. But
Yeah.
wasn't Kira the bad guy in
Yep.
DS9?
Kira is
And Spock turned out to be the bad guy in TOS.
Mr.
And here's
Kyle,
the
your
saving grace for
analyzer,
me.
please.
Next Generation never did Mirror Universe.
Yes, and you know what? I'm glad they didn't.
Me too.
I don't think it would have worked.
No, it wouldn't have worked. It would really ruin those characters.
I didn't even buy Worf as the evil regent guy, really.
Yeah.
In the Deep Space Nine, I had trouble buying Worf as that stupid, and like if he was less stupid, I could have bought him as evil. But Mirror Worf and Mirror Garrick were retards. I have to say. They were just dumb.
I don't really understand the whole thing with Yoshi as far as what they were doing with her, because that whole thing with the Zindi where she meets some guy who's a telepath.
Yeah.
Of all the people, the telepath, he went after Hoshi.
Yeah,
they
that
have a
made no sense
telepath on
to me.
board. They already have T'Pol, who's
Yeah.
a telepath. Why did he go for Hoshi? Whatever. But I thought, first of all, I think the actress is cute. I think she's attractive. A good boob job would do wonders for her career. I sound like Harvey Weinstein.
Hoshi?
Yeah, Hoshi. She's flat chested. Poor girl.
Yeah.
But I like her personality as far as the actress is concerned.
Yeah.
And this is another Reed instance where they could have done a lot with her, didn't. And they didn't get Jerry Ryan on board to screw everything up. They just never wrote her right anyway. And maybe because they canceled the show early, or I think they canceled it early. A lot of people said they canceled it too late, but I think that they canceled it early. I think maybe later on in the 5th, 6th, 7th seasons, they might have been able to do a lot more with her. But with the whole
especially with the
screwed
better
everything.
writers.
Yeah. So I like the actress. Her part was good, although not involved like it should have been.
Yeah.
But I don't really see anything particularly bad about her. I mean, there was even some humor with her when she saw those people at the beginning. She screamed and she ran away like a little girl and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Blind says she doesn't like her. I say I do like her. What do you think, Irie?
Hoshi, I think the actress is kind of sexy, to be honest. And she has her ups and downs. I didn't dislike her.
Asian privilege. All Asians are cute.
Dude, Happas are the
You and Jack Cochran, man. I don't know.
Happas particularly. They're either Happas and redheads have one thing in common. They're either really pretty or they're really ugly.
Or crazy. And they're both crazy.
They're both crazy as hell.
Yes. So what do you think about her part?
I thought it was one of those kind of, it never got like a steady rhythm about it, because there were episodes when they would pull her up and she would be okay, and then there were episodes where they would pull her up and you wouldn't remember it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
I liked her interactions with Phlox. I thought those two worked well together.
Well, I think he helped her.
I do too.
I really do.
It's like a father figure kind of deal.
Maybe some kind of mentoring thing, because I think that she was pretty new to acting. I don't know. I just always got that impression. And Phlox had done stage work. So,
and that's a great segue into the last character, which is Phlox.
We're not going to do Travis.
Oh, right, him. That's how memorable he is to me. Seriously. That is how memorable Travis is to me. He's just there.
He is set dressing. He is a good-looking guy. Good
Well, I
looking
would.
black guy.
I guess he is like he.
He
You
is
know, but
interesting.
They should
he's
have put
another
him in a
wasted
threes, man.
character.
That's dude. They should have made he and Reed gay.
There you go. That would
That could have worked.
That would
Actually,
have worked. That would have fucking worked.
Yeah.
that actually would have worked.
But he's
Like,
a
and
he's
they
a
could
really
have,
good looking black guy.
and they could have
Yeah.
done it, and they could have done it tastefully too.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of him was like Jerry Ryan, and it was initially envisioned for Voyager, where she was, ooh, look at the hot blonde. That's kind of who he is, only he's a guy.
Right.
Except Jerry Ryan actually brought
Oh, yeah.
intelligence to the
That wasn't the way she
character.
was. Yeah, she did that though. The actress did that.
She
They
was an
weren't
intellect.
envisioning her that way.
Very intelligent person.
When she came on board, it wasn't because they were looking for a new, great, fantastic part. They were looking for some set dressing, and she just happened to turn it into a real role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Travis was just. There was nothing remarkable about Travis. I just never. Like, he just seemed to be like the little boy on the ship that, like, here, drive the ship, little boy, drive the ship.
His big thing is his dad was a boomer. I mean, not a boomer like we talk boomer, but a
No,
person
yeah,
who ran freight.
Yeah, a freighter captain.
Yeah. So that's it. What
Yeah.
else about you, dude? He had one episode. He did act pretty well. He's a
Yes,
pretty good
the
actor.
one episode where they met the. Oh fuck! That they met like similar people to his family. They were kind of like freight
Yeah.
runners.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you abandoned your family and shit like that. Like, and then he got angry. And that was acted very well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, they did nothing else with him. It
Yep.
was like, oh, okay.
He rarely did anything with him at all. He was just a guy at a workstation.
Yeah.
Happened to be on the bridge.
A guy for Captain Archer to be like, it's okay, son.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how it felt. It was like he was just there for Captain Archer to actually have one person that he could have authority over properly, because Travis was just so green.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the Harry Kim. Easily ignored.
But Kim is better than Travis, because Kim actually has things to do.
He actually had episodes.
Kim had episodes. Kim had character. Kim had, again, brains.
Harry Kim was a great character.
Harry was awesome.
Yeah, but
I love Harry. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about the Commandos either.
The Makos.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Makos.
Yeah.
No, not so much.
The guy who ran the Commandos or the
He was
Makos.
okay.
He was kind of him and Reed going after each other and beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
He really brought a personality to that role for what little airtime he had.
Yeah.
You immediately thought, well, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you found that out pretty quick, you know.
He had the red shirt, right?
Yeah, he definitely made you feel like he wasn't. I mean, I'm obviously the actor is just a nice guy, but hopefully, but he made you believe that character was a jerk, and he was a jerk.
Oh, JP, thank you. He says that was his family in that episode you're thinking of. His dad had just died. Okay. Yes, because it was his brother he had gotten in an argument with.
Right.
Travis and his brother had gotten in an argument. But yeah, no, like, honestly, I really don't, like, nothing about Travis gets me like, oh, it's Travis. You know what I mean?
He had the opportunity of being something like the action figure.
Yeah.
You know, he should have been the first person to grab a phaser and start shooting at people, and actually like be good at it. Because everyone else is kind of mediocre with their weapons. I don't know if you played the whole series all the way through and just sat back and evaluated that. But these guys aren't very good with their weapons. They're not stormtroopers. They don't miss everything, but they're not particularly good. But it would be nice to have Travis as like a weapons expert, like a hand-to-hand combat weapons expert. So in that episode, when Reed and the commander are fighting, that Travis is just kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
You know, and later on in an episode where there's a firefight, he's like just taking people out. You know.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
That there's a role they could have given him, and they were more like, "Geez, I'm afraid of this guy. Make him in charge of security." Because they don't have a security officer.
Yeah, they do.
Well, the Makos.
Reed.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's right.
Anybody afraid of Reed hand to hand?
No.
Yeah, that's my point. If you saw, like I said, this is a visual thing, but Travis is a big guy
Yeah.
and like well defined and like has abs and
But
like
that's
it's
the
strong.
shitty part about his voice, though, is he doesn't sound big. Do you know what I mean? If you
No,
listen to Travis talk, he doesn't sound big. He sounds like a little boy, a young guy
Oh yeah, his
who
attitude.
is very meek and he does not like if you heard him with your eyes shut, I guarantee you would not think of him as a big guy.
Is that because he's a low man on the totem pole on the bridge?
Maybe.
Like he's like an ensign, right?
Yes, yes.
So he's the smallest guy there.
6:07 p.m. Status
Hey.
item. Answer call.
Who
Message.
is calling me?
Wow, could they talk any faster? That's Shapiro level right there.
Is everything okay? What's up? Oh, I'm almost done. Yes, we actually have things to talk about. That's why we're still going after 6. Um,
We're done
so,
now.
well, no, we haven't done Phlox.
Oh yeah, right.
Now it's your turn. Phlox, I liked.
Great actor, man.
Yeah.
He's probably the best actor on that show.
Yeah.
And I liked his character too. I liked the fact that they had an alien doctor that not only was a science man but was interested in homeopathy, but not to the point where if something was really wrong, he wouldn't go for medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was interested in the balance between science and homeopathy, and I thought that was a really cool touch.
Mm.
And I thought that his demeanor was also really cool, like the way that he seemed cheerful, but he was a thinker too. And he could provide some even in a serious situation, he could with one or two words just kind of make you think but smile at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought that even if he wasn't written, like, because he didn't get very many episodes, like Phlox centered episodes, and he should have, I think.
Was he? I don't know if you would call him the heart of the show, but he definitely was the moral center of the show.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely, whenever something was, should we or shouldn't we? Phlox was usually involved in there somewhere, and you
Yep.
can see it in his face and the way he acted. That he would struggle over things that weren't black and white. Of all the people who struggled the most, it was him who struggled the most about things, because there was things where he did something where he looked at, and you see it in other shows when Kirk says to Bones, "Wake him up," and Bones like, "Jim, I don't think," and Kirk says, "Wake him," and Bones goes ahead and he does it, but there isn't really that much remorse. It's more like anger that he's being forced to do it. Where
Yeah.
Phlox is kind of like he's struggling emotionally in his heart with this decision, not the fact that he's being overridden, that his somehow that makes him less of an officer. That doesn't bother him. He doesn't care about that.
No.
He's like, I don't think this is the right thing to do, and I'm having to do it anyway. And how am I going to sleep tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. And doesn't his species, doesn't they have to have 4 people present to make sex? To make the sex?
They
have
have
multiple partners,
partners, yeah.
Oh, okay.
but it's just 2 people.
Mm.
They have multiple wives. I think it's 4 or 5 wives
4 or
normally
5. Yeah.
per.
And they have like a mating time.
Right.
They have like
The
open
year.
relationship. Everybody gets to have sex with everybody. Kind of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, kind of like the blue guy on fucking the Orville.
Yeah. The only thing that really bothered me about Phlox, and it wasn't about the character or his writing or anything like kind of, it was just one little thing that they did with him that bothered me was, and I'm probably explaining this to you for the first time, is from time to time, if he smiled about something that really made him smile, they used CGI to pull the corners of his mouth up really high on his face to just below his eyes.
Oh.
It was
Well,
it was
that's weird.
unnatural to us, and I only did it like 4 times maybe through the entire show, but it didn't look right. The CGI did not look right. It didn't look right on his face. It didn't like the face would look like that. There's any muscle in the face that would make the face look that way. So it looked unnatural. The CGI wasn't that great. There was a lot of blurring and stuff like that, and it didn't look right on the face. But every once in a while, they would do it about something he was like particularly satisfied with or happy about, like the episode where Tucker and his wife kind of flirt with each other. Well, she flirts with him more than anything else. And he says, "You don't know what you're missing." And he turns and looks at Tucker and he smiles, and then the smile stops, and then it extends up even higher.
Oh God!
Like in 2 parts. It was like, yeah, it is weird. It just turned me off. I was like, you guys don't need to be doing that. Just have him smile like a regular person.
Multiple wives and husbands, says JP.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's, one at a time.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing. I mean, you saw that, right? Irate, you saw that. How am I describing it the right way? Do you remember?
Yeah.
The smile of Phlox, the CG smile.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. The usage of that, digital warping, just slightly in places. It's far more effective when you do it that way than if you like put it just, in every episode and shit.
Yeah, it wasn't very often, but every time it did, I just kind of look away from the screen. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, Uzi and I were watching this thing called The Third Day, and in the show, he's given LSD.
Oh,
it's this big series that was on HBO, and it's like a really good homage to the original Wicker Man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's everything that piece of shit that what's his name is in
Nicolas Cage.
The bees. Yeah,
Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
This is the rightful heir to that show.
Okay.
But this dude takes off this mask, and his face distorts just ever so slightly, and it sends a shiver up your spine, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool, very cool stuff.
Weird.
Yeah, but they when they did it with Phlox, it was really kind of cool because it made him look more like a snake, just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't do it a couple of times. You're right. That's what I remember.
So that brings us to the end of the bridge crew of Enterprise. So that means next week we're going to move on to the original series cast.
Yeah.
And I think we'll have a lot of fun with that.
It's going to be less people, but it's going to be, well, maybe not. There's the same amount of people, right?
Yeah, about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It's usually about that for the
Count Nurse Chapel.
Cast. Yeah.
Yeah, we can count her. Sure.
All right.
That was fun. That was a fun talk.
It was a fun talk.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Please check out my friend Irate Prostate tomorrow, and you have Aircraft Sparky, don't you?
Yeah, he's back from he went to a Trump event.
Oh, so that'll be interesting.
Back with have y'all ever heard of Let's Be Frank?
Yes.
I've heard
like 150K subs, and he met him out there, so he'll probably want to talk about that. So we probably will.
Nice.
Since we get close to the election.
And then you have
you have to shout out Skep too. We miss you, Skep.
Yes, we miss Skep Talk. He was wrangled into family obligations.
Damn
it, having family.
Yeah, damn family. So tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, join Pinkalo and I for the Blind and the Special.
Yes.
I may game later if Pinkalo decides to play Among Us on his computer, because then I will have the PlayStation, but I don't know. So stay tuned.
I hear
And of
everybody
course,
playing that. Is that any fun?
I don't know.
I don't either.
It's a lot of words, apparently.
Uh,
But and also catch me on Fairly Just Becca tomorrow instead of tonight. We had to reschedule. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'll be doing her show and then putting the kids to bed and then doing Blind and Special. So yay!
Yay!
Thank you all for watching, everyone. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday, and thank you to Irate Prostate and Hammer for joining me. Have a
Don't
great
forget
night,
to hit our
everybody.
merch store.
Yes, go
blindpress.net.
to blindpress.net and get yourself some Blind Press merch.
Thanks for coming out, chat. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.